Good morning, everybody. We are both here. Me and myself. Not kidding. It's obviously Quill.
Yeah. Here. Hi, everyone. The little afterthought.
Yeah, no, he is there, right there. You just can't see him. I mean, I would be the most surprised once again if you popped out behind me.
Huh. I had this idea that you can extend your arm off screen and wave your hand, just your hand, a little above your head to pretend it's my hand when you're waving at the camera.
So, we have to get out with a plan. With a plan to save the world who might not even need saving. For all we know, they have been taken. Or they followed the nuggets. And now we know that not all the nuggets are evil. At least they act like not evil.
And that was something of a relief to Agate. Because she didn't want to judge an entire race as one thing or another.
Yeah, that is called racism. And we all know it's bad. There's always an exception to the exceptions.
Yeah.
So, let's see what the plan is. I am absolutely tired. But maybe the coffee I just brewed is gonna help waking me up. And I'm pretty sure we don't need sorrow. For 17, the plan. When my senses restore to normal reality. You don't know how much I am needing that right now.
Okay.
I was gonna lose my equilibrium for a month until I later adjust. And I knew taking my new surround. And this when I noticed that I am in some kind of temple near a waterfall that has the fullest statue of the great serpentine, or as I like to affectionately call him now, Osmir. Also, Osmir sounds like a rare soul as well, like a jewel.
Okay.
It could be a keystone as well. Oh yeah, it kinda reminds me of Otto. On I'm still confused why he was a griffin. Especially because I didn't recognize the form that he took. After that, I did notice I have returned to the company of Talon, Dr. Smith, and the still nameless Lady Naga. I almost ran Lingaro. But I'm pretty sure Kuratura is not here. Of whom I am still convinced is the Guardian, caretaker of this place, and probably also some kind of spiritual leader. This is what I almost misheard. Given her close proximity to a sentient, telepathically highly intelligent and knowledgeable entity behind her, he probably can give her people some very wise guidance. If that entity is actually talking to her. For all we know, I'm sorry, Osmium might not even talk to EMS any longer.
That's a possibility, but in the last chapter she appeared, and she was expecting them
Yeah?
for some reason.
Oh my god, this is the first time he talked to me. And the first thing that he said was, the visitor is coming. Welcome them. Next, I let it settle, giving us a questioning look shortly before he asked. Ready to look to the telepathic conversation with the entity in the statue as well? Illuminately, my good sir. Others be surprised in a bit more cheaper mood than I recall him being in before. We had a long conversation as well, which proved quite a bit enlightening for me. I thought you would say intriguing, but enlightening for sure as well. He does that sometimes. The lady in the girl nearby informed us casually. He loves to teach, and he has a good eye for those, but yes, he lessons. Okay, I am in this proven. He talks to Lady Naga and probably most of the other Nagas here as well.
Like a great serpent and Miss Chili.
Why is Miss Shirley kids happened? Because she loves to teach?
Yep, and she likes to see the potential of her students bloom.
So he did have a disco phase as well. I didn't see either of you with him when I spoke to him, I mentioned. Yes, he told me he would consider having conversation with the two of you as well. Now it seems like he was telling me the truth, which makes this quite remarkable. You know what he reminds me of?
What?
He reminds me of a chess master who is playing chess with multiple people at the same time. This proves that just one of them is not intelligent enough to even be accounted for. And that's something, knowing that the doctor is here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that is true. If he really is timeless being and can see multiple timelines at the same time, the doctor cannot do that. He can travel through time, but he cannot see every possibility.
I heard Time Lord's perception can extend across time, so in this case, if given the example you gave, the Doctor would still make a really good opponent.
Yeah? I mean, this was still only 3 of them, and 2 of them were rookies, compared to the Doctor. Before this for a moment, I think I see like my getting it from the side, that he goes on to say. And me, the conversation I had with him leads me to believe that he is trustworthy. But it's regards to integration, what our next move is. Is this Talon speaking? Yes.
Yes,
Talon.
yes, it is.
We seem quite reluctant to share too much insight about that, especially when it pertains the future, which he claimed was in his purview. He said that to me too. I nodded aloud in agreement with him. Yeah, this is why I was confused of who is talking at the moment. And I'm assuming he said that to the doctor as well. These masters multi-dimensional consciousness. And they got nearby us said, and she gives an admiring look to the statue in the waterfall. As such, his perception is not confined by limitation of linear space and time construct. And who said such a thing that we have a linear space and time? The actor would believe say that, yeah, no, there is no such thing. I mean,
Hence the word construct here.
No. In just a normal human would probably see in a linear space-time construct. Yeah, because we only see what happened and what is happening. And when we don't see the possibility, what could happen. Believe me, I am very familiar with such a perspective, and was misinformed. It was sounded to me like an almost begging better. Yeah, he does that a lot of times. And to give him a questioning look, I wonder why what he just said is true. If it's true. You do not speak with a normal tongue, sir. No, he doesn't have a horse tongue or snake tongue. I mean, lawyers probably do have, yeah.
It's also an expression. When you're speaking with a double tongue, it means you often lie.
Nah, he doesn't have a normal tongue. He has a silver tongue. They did not tell to the doctor in what sounds like respect. I surmised what she meant by that is she believed the doctor did not lie. Goodness knows she knows that. Is she snapping too? I mean, saying did not lie doesn't mean that told the truth. We have been through this before. Not saying anything or not lying doesn't mean you are telling the truth. You can tell whatever happened to you, and maybe say only part of it, and you are not lying, per se. But withholding information is still not telling the truth. And God, we know that the doctor is withholding a lot of information. I found in my travels that is sometimes necessary. Doctor replied, just not in this case. Not to the error. I said, I think the first thing we should address is to get our introductions in order. I will shut it off. We just have to adjust with the level. My name is Dr. John Space. You can just call me the doctor for short if you prefer. And now Lady Nero will start smiling and look at us. But now, the doctor is actually using double tongue. And this way it's going in, thinking Lady Nero's lips, as it implies with a shrewd expression. I do indeed prefer. She knows that she was lying about the name. The very obvious fake name, by the way. Also, I don't know how this went through everything because Joe Smith is already a suspiciously normal name in the human language, but we are in Pony land.
Yep. I wouldn't know if it's suspicious to them, but it's kind of. I would still say it's unusual.
Yeah? But we know they know. And I am telling Burrows. Hello, tell me across north to Lady Nero. I'm well met. I think it is my turn. I speak up my saying, and I am agate. I'm if it's tail. And I'm completely limited when I should add my middle name in this very important and formal introduction. But I decided to rest it later. If it's not later I start, I think no, you might have picked up on it anyway. After a brief moment, in this season, I shake my head. Keep my head to clear it, and decide to start over again. Miss Agate Keystone. Yelling. with that whole big pause in the middle. I finally finish it as politely as I can. My cheeks flush inside embarrassment and shyness. And I am Sebastian, the spiritual guide for my people. Do I introduce it? Is that how you say, you would say her name?
I would say yeah. Sewell Zelon.
My mind image is that because of how it sounds like I went to San Leon. But we know that's not a logo. And my last pair of friends here said moment ago. Well met, dear Sebastian. Dr. Smith said, with an affectionate nod. Then, nod to her, and we should tell Burrows. Now, on to the second order of business, which is again something you brought up. What we shall do next is save our friends. Of course. And hopefully also the various effect of the logo, who are bright and enlightened, and our new friends here. Which is the most majority of them, if what I've been led to believe is true, and add skeptically. Something tells me that meeting these people will be a final blessing of the journey. The rest will be up to us. Donovan looked down at size before he said, was it supposed to be an ad or was it supposed to be an and?
Probably should have been and. I think we got it right. Yeah, that should be an and.
I mean, you can look down at sighing as well, but speaking of which, it was for a moment as his face made aim toward oh, downward, not toward, but like toward what? No, aim downward. But he looked above his head and turned on the name of his fellow hand. No, fellow hand? When did he change his hat?
Oh, he had that since the start of the adventure. You forgot about that.
No, he had the other hat. Right?
No. The pith hat is something Tannen has.
Oh, okay. My bad. The information I had with the great sage informed me about what we are up against. Oh my god. Just came to my mind why the picture is there. Is it gonna be a memento for the new?
Well, you have to see.
The one
But
with the
I
23 horse in it?
I, if that's true, it may not have that yet, but it could. It's an old hat even now. Um, Something else that was established earlier, so I won't give this. Well, I'll give this way because it's not a spoiler. A few chapters ago, Tannen mentioned that he is deathly ill,
Yeah.
and he does expect one way or another this to be his last adventure, and this is how he chooses to go out.
Yeah, I think that it's gonna be that.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't feel that as sooner, though. It turns out that the not quite so nice side of these people have already made some progress with their plan. Therefore, in order to make all of the sacrifices of our friends, but if we don't hurry, that will be the next step. If so, as it goes on to say, there's a high priest of the evil Naga here, named,
Now
oh
I know you
god,
might have trouble with that one.
no, it's like a sternum.
Okay. Like Nelkra.
Like
Schlogzinov. It's kind of a snake sounding name.
I mean, this is the only letter I have from them, but that's not your problem. That's your fault.
Okay.
He used to be in charge of the evil Naga here, until partially succeeded with one of his goals, and that is the resurrection and restoration of the ancient former Silurian, and was once known as Plague. But now he goes by the name of Decay.
Hold on there. This might have some relevance to you if you remember. Plague has appeared in one of my stories before, and you have read that one. It was years ago, though.
I don't know what to say that it rings a bell.
A Silurian that's named Plague. Or at least he was. Before.
I don't know about Silurian, but the name rings a bell.
I could remind you if you want me to.
Yeah, it would be better because I will not remember, especially now with half a save.
Well, it was in Skydance, the first flying unicorn, when Featherwind gives a recap of a story to Starbreeze about something he did in the ancient past, which he got stranded in the past because the TARDIS was forced to take off. Some kind of hostile energies was in the area that made the TARDIS sick.
Yeah, I remember that part.
That thing took off, which stranded Feather and Stern in that time period for 8 years.
Yes.
And among their strongest challenges they faced during that time was a former Solarian named Plague, who spread plagues and pestilence across the land. And he was an extremely cunning foe, too, that was quite difficult to take out. It took an assembly of a group of adventurers, which Feather helped to train, and enchanted gear of crystals filled with positive energy they were collecting all over the place before they were able to finally take that particular foe down. And they had to go after his cauldron, which he was particularly well known for spreading worms around the area.
Yeah, the kind of reminds me of I don't know if you have played or heard of oh god. Yeah, my mind is skipping to thoughts.
Plague was kind of like an undead Silurian, made of worms. Well, that's all collected together in a mass that vaguely shaped of a Silurian. And he's modeled after a D&D undead monster called the Worm That Walks.
The worm?
Worm That Walks. That's a certain D&D monster that I never encountered in the game, but I heard of him.
Oh, it's not a worm. It is multiple worms into
Oh,
becoming into
oh yeah,
one
a whole
being.
collection of them. In fact, that picture was in D&D. Yeah.
I think even Man in Black had a man like that, right?
Uh, maybe, but that's true. I don't remember. Um, hey, there was something like it in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Oogie Boogie. It was just a bag full of bugs.
Yeah, this guy, who was literally made up of bugs.
Okay. Well, anyway, you got your backstory now of that particular character since it's in the past for you. I'll just remind you what you already know.
Let me find the game, because I forgot the name. I should have it. So wondering when you know something. Ah, Darkest Dungeon.
You know, given what they actually are, maybe a more accurate term for them would have been worms that walk.
There you go. There is your worm.
Oh, something like it, yeah. That used to be Plague's main power base with this pot full of worms that he was producing in order to help strengthen the Dark Star's influence in this time period.
Yeah, I can't remember now. Not fully, but most of parts of it.
Most of that adventure was recapped, though, said in terms of like when Feather was directly talking to his daughter.
Yeah. Sounds like a fun guy. I forgot to say in the right tone. No, he was not a fun guy, he was a worm guy. Right. Those me similar to me. In exploration. Whenever I say no, so I always want to say no. Former Silverian? I'll never check. If he isn't Silverian anymore, then what is he is then? I sent you a living mass of worms that got him the takes on the shape of Silverian. And I misanswered. But worms in particular. I mean, do you even know if he even was a Silverian to begin with?
It was suggested he used to be, yes. Until he accepted the Dark Star's blessing.
Ah.
Perhaps you could put blessing in quotes in that one statement.
Oh yeah, but I mean, that after he changed, he is not himself anymore. So that he met was never the Silverian. That is what I meant. Oh, lovely. I say this thing I told again. I met you the smell of him with all the math. I remind me of my players like that. That the my player was never a human before. Even though they became from other beings. It's a new creature altogether. That looks confused. I say seriously. What? He is the worms themselves, or? Yeah, don't question it. It turns out, in a way, that obviously invites an celebration. If he's not on the right track, means yes. Those may say it should stand. I said. No, not the thing that causes cell decay. It should just correct some medical energy. Or the lack thereof. Like many in this case, obviously. The master of worms is to build the property and made. The balance is to use in water and water. Theoretically, you can have eliminated and possessed other vessel he wanted. But I'm guessing the vessel he chose that symbolic with nature and primary mission in life. Yeah, because every decaying body has some worms in it. I would assume that's the reason. So, it is kind of like this.
That's probably from Gravity Falls, isn't it?
It is.
Some big collection of gnomes there.
Yeah, all individual creatures on their own, but being put together with one being.
Okay.
Ultimately though, decay is just servant to an even greater force of sentient dark magic, and in this case, I almost purely let alone. The great sage called that entity in the Dark Star, which is a sentient comet that crashed into the world many years ago. That entity moved the dark magic to this world for the first time, and it almost corrupted and destroyed the world back then. But it was rotted in a way that managed it into a state of this world that you can say the shadow plane, which is basically the dark expression of this world. And they have used that world multiple times in Yu-Gi-Oh! From there, the dark side attempting to return to this world. So it can make havoc in full force again, which in the case also an objective. Okay. So this is gonna be a problem if they literally brought some of the case poison back from this land. Because I didn't forget that the whole thing we are looking back in what happened in the past is because in the future.
Right. Daring Do is seeking a cure that is currently extinct. And here is an individual who used to be known as Plague, and it's now Decay, who specialized in spreading disease.
And now it's the case. And who always had an antidote for everything? The one who made the virus to begin with. So the detective even Laga had to take apart a fully plan to empower this from a civilian known as K. I survived. Oh, what's more than right? That was a surprise to me. What did this sect actually plan to do? The empower a dark magic aspect, known as the Alicon Amulet. Oh, good old friend, we meet again. Why isn't Icon Amulet here in the Silurian and Nagaland where there are no ponies?
That's a good question. But if you think about it, a magical item like that would be the perfect plot device item in a daring do adventure. Because her adventures often circulate around stuff like that. Um, Powerful magical artifacts that could be used for ill in the wrong hands, or hooves, or whatever.
Also, they use technology, not magic. So, who is trying to use the amulet?
Kind of. I would call it more like magical magical technology. Just like magic technology based on magic and to advanced degree, or at least it used to be.
So, it's either they are trying to look at the sun, get way too close to it, or someone else, or some creature else is behind all of this, who has magic on their own.
You could be right. But speaking strictly from this story, what's said so far, you heard a little bit about what's behind Decay, what helped to create him, and what he helps to further empower.
Yeah?
And bring closer to the world again. He's up to his old tricks. Although he might be doing it a different way now.
I thought it's funny how we have the Dark Star right here. We're talking about the Dark Star, and in Beyblade we are literally in the era where there is a star falling down and they are trying to revive the Dark Star.
Cool. Yeah, it happens sometimes when you see a bunch of coincidences here and there, links between various stuff. That's awesome when you notice that happening.
Oh yeah, the article omelette? I congratulate. I don't know the evil artifact somewhere, but that will make it like best here. Wait, how did you hear about this?
Oh, she's a college student and studies a lot of adventure stuff.
I did my hands forward between Dr. Smith and town, and I go on to say, I go into what I read. Supposedly, it is an artifact created me for foreign kind, even more to express here. Back during the Age of Ice, when the video started to freeze us to death, though some records suggest that amulet predates even that. So it is a weapon of mass destruction. It is also said that he or she who wears the amulet was about it. Yet greatly empowered somehow. On the exact way it does, that depends on who wears it. If it's a unicorn, I don't tell, I suppose it's only great medical energy and knowledge of spacing. Or make dark medical energy. If it's Pegasus, or maybe gesture and myself in the hoof, it gets emperor's control of the weather, and it's really fast applied. And if it's another pony, then they become the incredible Hulk. And then look at the doctor. It gets immeasurable stamina, strength, and endurance, so great, no matter what might be physically invincible. You are looking at the wrong pony. That's not the last pony right now. And if the matter is a combination of all three types, and I call, begins but tears open the shutter. Then we get Musa Gold. Yes, that reaction is not on me yet, but I recorded it. And if you know what he is or will see the episode, then you will know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Quite a long time ago, but I did. I even remember what his opponent was. It was Cable.
Yeah?
And I learned a lot about that guy too in that video.
I mean, I knew more about Cable, but there was still some new information about him for me. That's probably what the Amulet was designed for. I assume right? The power and corrupt the icon. For whoever is foolish enough to wear the amulet will gain great power and the export of the corruption of their soul. No, what I'm assuming that the icon amulet was to empower anyone who is using it, but during the making of it, I don't believe that the corruption is what intended part of it.
Maybe, but take a look at the picture of it. It does kind of look a little bit wicked. Mostly black amulet, turned to the side with the ruby gem kind of narrowed down in an angry expression.
Yeah, but colors can change. We have seen that happen. What if it was a kid amulet with a blue jewel? The man is also the only one who can take it off, if I'm not mistaken. And adds with a slight twin of recollection, unless of course the wearer is dead or killed by wearing it. At that point there is no will in the body anymore for the amulet to attach to it. So it can be freely taken off from them.
I could see why they didn't mention that in the show.
Didn't they? I
No,
mean,
they did not. What they said is only the wearer can take it off.
yeah, that's what they said it.
But in that a show designed for kids, it doesn't surprise me that they didn't add the caveat or kill Trixie. Yeah.
I mean, we know that they are not talking about that. They need to show whatever that happened that was obviously happening.
Here in this story, it's adding that extra caveat. It's got to be one or the other. Convince them to take it off or kill the wearer. If you can, you're gonna be killing an empowered wearer.
It's either take or kill.
Right.
Only sounds like the one having your power. No, I think the one having your power can be taken off. I mean, that is how he lost it to begin with. The ring was cut off with his finger.
Right. But if you do possess it, it's difficult to let go. Because of its empathic desire to try to corrupt you and convince you to keep it.
Yeah, that's part is. No! The one thing instantly caused you to bring it back to me. Let's keep it. That's part of it.
Yeah, that too.
This video with a time like that and nothing in particular. Also, obviously, it was Doctor who mentioned it.
Yep, he's one of the few in the story that actually make references from the human universe.
Yeah.
Like earlier in this same story too, well, not the Daring Do, but early in Adventures of the TARDIS, he made reference to Star Wars as well.
Well, we know it could happen.
That's a cool picture.
This is by Alison Mariani on the Venus.
Fellowship is mentioned.
This is one of the rules of the internet. If you try to search something, there is always a funny version of it. The one ring of power has a close specialty that mirrors my own reaction. I never hold this item. It's a fictional item from where I come from. Does not miss Anton as a little bit town. It's just a mere story. Don't say this to a fan.
Okay.
The reason I brought it up, no, is because the power it can, along with how and why it was built. That is very similar to Icon Amulet. I mean, even the watering was not made to grow up.
The one ring to rule them all? That was carved into it the moment it was created.
Yeah. One thing to rule them all, but not corrupt the one that is running it.
There was also something about bind them into darkness.
The ring of power can also remember the ability of the one who wears it, but the way it does depends on who puts it on. According to the story, the one who originally crafted the evil ring had to conquer all of the known planets he was on. And if he put on that ring, then the way it augments him would be much internationally empowered and crowned. So the one who wrote the story was inspired by the legend of his Amulet, I guess. I read a lot of historical legends may trace their origins to some kind of historical fact. I mean, I can see the comparison between the two. In my words, an outside and middle observation as well, but a miss or case. Wait, didn't I guess I literally see a mountain that has a crown on top of it? I remember I remember something like that.
In this story and something else?
In this story, when she appeared looked up on the cliff. I literally arrived on the island.
Oh, well, when she came to this continent, yeah, it was. She saw a very high sea cliff. Oh yeah, and once she got further inland, she saw a mountain in the distance that had like a crown of clouds around it. The tip.
Oh, a crown of clouds. I missed that. I told that about the mountain looked like a crown.
Yeah.
That's a very different thing. Why would the icon of me here? Am I told? So that's with confused friend. This land is far from Equestria. It is the hope I see it. I admit that the original icon omelette seems to predate Equestria itself. It is true that it hails from the top of the land originally, but not this far, I suspect. This does not matter to my people, at least to some extent. To us alone chimes in. My people are the original architects of this temple, and as such, we are not proficient with its use, and the original designers. The original power source for the space is also offline, so we have to improvise alternate means or a substitute. Unfortunately, and the majority of our people now stoop to using the corrupting influence of dark magic as a result. Oh, there's the end. Unfortunately, the majority of our people now still through using the corrupting influence of non-money and substitute. This technology here wasn't originally designed to channel energy like that. It isn't quite effective. Nevertheless, it is okay to call some of the old technology here to work. Among them are magical portals, and we call it the Stargate.
This is a daring do adventure, alright?
So these really are the what are they called?
I thought it was so amusing to just watch you grin at when you read that.
So they are the job of these people. They are the god.
Okay.
I think I even told that the weapon was the same. With them, it can link to different locations together. What of it is located here, other must be in the capacity of someone nearby it. Ah, you mean a mirror, a magic mirror, right?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Not so much for scrying, but for transportation. I heard of some magic mirrors that could do both. First, you can view a distant location, and if you wish, you can step through the mirror to actually be there.
I mean, if you think about that, this is a Stargate as well.
Damn straight. Kind of designed that way, too. Before that, you remember it came from a magic mirror.
It's still in the mirror. It is the same mirror, but she was reactivated.
Yep.
Motel and I. And I, you recently here. You are super soon in love. That is also the first. Come on to it. You were right. And let's explain how they gained access to Amulet at one time. Now they're landed alone. I wonder if they first access even further than that. Probably you would. The architecture of the temple actually reminds me a lot of my structures. And that part for Promin and I. Of the discovered in the Titlan Valley.
That word is borrowed straight out of the show.
Yeah. No, it's not.
It,
No, never could be a racing reaction there. So those misagreed with town. I would even better it. For civilization to be as advanced as this one was, it will surprise me, besides if they managed out to use this plan. Especially if technology like this target is involved. You can again go on the face of the doctor. Which in turn give me a brilliant idea. Because I have watched the show. You plan to use the target and try to get our held back to Equestria. I figure and then I hear the doctor. Not quite. I want to use it to find a portal to my vessel. And that would not mean giving it away, right? I would better necessarily get them to the rest of the temple than the young girl that crossed the ocean all the way back to Expressio, said the doctor. It is several innocent civilians who have helped us get here, but it's so under condition that we leave. The way I see it, it would be an effective and efficient strategy to fulfill our side of the bargain. Then what about your ship? Would you leave your ship here if it was here, Doctor?
Or maybe it's back in Equestria, because he started his journey there.
And this one I believe in the Cameron. The blue box is here.
Okay.
What about the key and the alcohol omelette? Asking your son. If we received our own, it was like an omelette as well as the star 8.
That is weird. As well as...
Maybe she had a hiccup in the meantime.
Okay, I gotta tell you this. It's film fiction itself that added that space. On my original Darkham, it is not there.
Ah. Yes, she literally had a hiccup. So she was like, that's what, and the star 8.
I've never seen that glitch before on film fiction. Most of the glitches usually revolve around setting things to italic and not, and then getting rid of the spaces between that and the next word.
Yeah, it happens. We can use the photo just as easily as we can. Not if not matter. At least they remain attached to our native land. I consider whether I could or not. Can you imagine how much it would be like the game would be augmented if it was so? That would be dire indeed. But as Mr. Case, even without the omelette, I learned from the gate stage that the king already had great supernatural powers, discussing the throat and decay. What a liar! We know that you didn't learn it from the gate stage. You learned it from Panamin and Serving.
Yeah, but they've not had that adventure yet.
I mean, they could have.
They could have, yeah.
We know that this is later on the story for him. And because they are not here, I must, until proven otherwise, I'm assuming this is after they left.
Okay.
If someone like him wanted to put on the omelette, he could and would spend a lot of disease across the entire nation. Let's go them to suffer. For in his eyes, that will bring glory and augment the power of the dark side itself. Yes, Batman, what about me, you do to my terrifying guess?
Yeah, another synergy you got here.
We are literally putting lies in between two very different kind of stories. In the Dark Overlord gained enough power that it could find a way back into his world. The things would really go down here from there, Jake said. So are you okay? Let's have the decay, and now that must be applied. If we could purify Nova somehow, that would at least get away from his home, I suggest. Or like thought. Miss correct. The king and the pony so he doesn't have homes. No, he could scan because it either. Yeah, and the maps don't really have clothes either, Doctor. Maybe that was me. That was that? You are right on the tag. I mean, what he might actually have is literally the closest to hand. If you think about that.
It's made up of a large collection of worms, but collectively they form the shape of other things, which include claws or hands or tail or hoofs or whatever.
Yeah. There is other objective we need to accomplish before we leave the temple. Alright, time to engage with the accepting node. And the idea of how we can deal with the game itself. It sounds to me that we can safely approach anywhere near the sky while collecting some kind of fatal disease. Okay, and I do have a plan. It will apply to the waves move towards the statue with a grand gesture. Behold the great sage Matt. A highly loved and excellent spirit who is positively brimming with great abundance, was basically about holy energy. Also, an entity who can move and make an uncomfortable amount, has no gimlet. Can still only note how the statue hasn't eroded under the constant pressure of the mother foliage. Carol, the doctor literally just told you how he has not eroded yet. Brimming with great abundance of holy energy.
Right.
The temple isn't a threat to Great Master, who was confidently assured as she looked upon into the valley. But the same curse that locks him in the stone also makes him immune to any other purely physical change. So it is quite different than the rainbow laser.
Yeah. Sounds like this case is stronger.
So I'm gonna assume that he was not turned to soul by Celestia then. Not by the element.
Probably not. And hard to come up with a motive for her to do that anyway.
Unless they use icon magic. Icon amulet.
Ah, yeah. Now there you go.
It says the soul is frozen in time. But his body is frozen in such a state, no. His mind and space transcend space and time. So it's not confined by a time frozen statue. But also, if he gets outside of the statue, then he loses all of this privilege.
Yeah, kind of. The statue's basically indestructible. If it's frozen in time, then it cannot change via anything that requires time to move.
Exactly. So, seriously, pistol can move it. Yeah, that is a Minecraft term, by the way.
Okay.
Literally, moving object that can
Oh man.
move faster than
There's
1 second. So that's basically actually a case. Can his mind, I think this is 6, right?
Yes, correct. I'm fixing that now.
Nah, it's
So you
not.
can,
It's not sine. It's cosine or
yeah,
tangent.
actually, you can read that as since, because I just fixed that word.
This is mine, and it's really not confined to the stage. Not.
Yeah.
What is the button for this?
Is there a problem?
No, I am searching for a button which I.
The text has moved
Oh,
out of alignment according to the
yeah, I
scanner.
know.
Okay.
There we go. This is mine, and space is not confined to the stage. The energy gives off is effectively holy energy. And oh look! He is able to be in contact with the water that's flashing upon his physical form. You can touch him, or with the hands come onto the water itself. It's holy water! Holy water! Which makes it a huge collection of holy water! I came in excitement. So you reckon I use the Serpent King's mass water?
As a weapon against a creature made purely of dark energy?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And is basically undead.
I made imagine either one of my heart that water like that would affect a pure dark energy being, like the cave, and water was made of acid. I mean, the worms don't really like water to begin with.
That too, yeah.
So even if it's not holy water, Dr. Smith marked proudly. Because remember, dark energy within this collection of maggots in the only reason they are holding together, in the form that they currently have. If an energy goes away, they are about to begin being just normal collection of maggots. Or become even bigger. The water might even dissolve them entirely. Doctor, you do know that we are not fighting a vampire. The screens will lie, as he said. Okay, but how do we use it? Please don't tell me you want us to scoop it out this water with our bucket.
With a ton of buckets.
Yeah. Water balloons? I have no reason to suggest with a balloon work. That might actually work. Possibly, not so much amusing, but unfeasible. Mr. replied. Instead, we got to be smart about this. Did you ever guys know about firearms? In my world, we have this little device called water gun. And those misleading the chance that just a few drops of water is enough to wipe out the entire entity is powerful and decay. Potentially is. Instead, I want this person to drown in this stuff. So how do we accomplish that? I asked more seriously. Well, remember the fantasy book I mentioned about the one ring? The whole thing is about dropping the one ring into a volcano, but it was forced. We can do that with the key and the holy water. If the mountain doesn't move to the king, you move the king to the mountain. So how do we accomplish that? I asked more seriously. I people know, but it's what I challenge. So what's informs us. As a matter of fact, this is what I used to be an integral part of what used to power the temple back in the day. But it was not corrupt. You know what? Good thing you have this literally only holy water in this area, because we are gonna corrupt it by putting the key in this. The power source is space used is still missing. But one of the key methods that transfers energy towards the Great Pyramid is combination of the shape of the temple and the water that runs through it. Water is equal to electric charge, you see, and it also flows. Yeah, that's water for you. And makes a lot of sense. Hello, kids. After all, the liquid substances and crystals can be easily charged with magical energy. And also, there are liquid crystals as well.
Yeah, magical water is basically like magic potions.
Yeah,
It's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons that substance is common for as a mythological receptacle for magical energy.
I mean, there's a stupid thing that which always has a cauldron. Mm, and most likely, usually they don't really use it to make drinks or soup.
But you could, if you do. It makes a lot of soup.
There you go. This is my answer to that. That tends to be how we accumulate, like via magical crystal items in various portions. There is an aqueduct that flows through the space, and the dark giants here are ignorant of it. So let me sad with a kind smile. That's why they don't try to use it. And even if they knew about it, they have to use it, they would be sure to find it only as magical charge. In this case, a positive charge thanks to our friend here. He says with a wave nod to one statue, but still looking at us. So the dark giant would be loath to use it if they discovered it. I forgot with a nod. Okay, with an estimate, how do we use it? You two have that 46 over there, right? So the miss asked about him, by holding his color smirk. With a smirk, I'll come in a moment later. Why do you need the dynamite?
It could blow a hole in the wall.
Yeah, so
Or
it's a...
or
You
the
are
acting
actually
like
doing what I've been saying, that if the king doesn't come to the mountain.
You ping the mountain to the king.
Okay, but you have not even established if there is little decay there. You haven't zoomed around. You don't know. You are just following my oh yeah, the decay is there. And you believe them. Without looking at with your own eyes.
Well, you could probably guess that they're about to do that.
Yeah, this is a problem with the doctor. Sometimes. Whoever he decided, yeah, I believe him, then it would mean everyone else is lying. He literally just written contact with his name without actually reading what he wrote under. There is a lot of problems here. Especially Nikki.
What, by that you mean problems to deal with?
Yeah?
Okay.
And problems they are gonna make that they have to live in later.
Well, yeah, if everything they heard is true, then yes, decay is a big problem, especially if he has the Alicorn amulet.
Yeah, I can see more problems here if they actually blow a hole in the wall and let the water out. Yeah, it might go to the decay and drown it. Sure, even if he was there.
But it
But
might drown their own companions too, right?
that's just a sidekick. We don't care. Come on, we survive.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about the dinos who are outside in the jungle and will definitely look what's happening. You are literally alerting all the T-Rexes and everything in the area on that. Hey, here we are! Come and get us! That is gonna be my problem here.
Well, to them, it might just look like a new river flowing out of the temple.
Yeah, but they will still it out. And you know the temple has walls that protect all the logo, but if they blow a hole in it.
Well, yeah, the dinosaurs need to drink too, and if there's a new source of it, they may occasionally be attracted around the area because of that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna assume at the very end these nuggets and non-nuggets as well, nuggets and silhouettes at the same time, we have to leave the temple by the Stargate.
Well, that's certainly a possibility. It was established in this chapter. That's a resource this temple has, which either side could utilize.
So, do we know if Talon is actually expert at exploding things? I know he has explosive charges, but how well can he expertly place them in a place where he doesn't blow up the whole temple?
Yeah, it sounds like you're talking about demolitionist. That's not established in the chapter so far.
I mean, we had a doctor who was all the knowledge necessary.
Right. He probably could give the guy some coaching then,
You
if
know,
Tannen himself is not prepared for that talent challenge.
I'm gonna
And for
laugh if the small disease of dynamite is not gonna put a dent in the wall.
okay.
It probably will, but
That's where the skill comes in. because the dynamite can do too little damage or too much. But if you place it with skill and just the right locations, you could crack that nut just right so that you get exactly the results you want.
You know why I say
Um,
that this is a possibility?
have you ever
Your
seen?
temple is still standing.
Have you ever seen very tall buildings that were scheduled for demolition by very skilled demolitionists who placed bombs at key support structures throughout the building, and they blow off in a specific sequence. The
Ye-
result is the building collapses into dust straight down.
yes, I saw it on YouTube. Not in real life, but yeah, I saw it.
That actually happened to the two towers too in America,
Uh,
but other buildings as well. That buildings that are condemned for whatever reason. That's one way to clear the space,
I
and
mean,
that's what
that is the same as me as well.
I suspect demolitionists can also be used to disarm explosives because they know how it works and use it skillfully.
I mean, yeah, but that is not established to be one. No one.
Yeah, his skills are questionable with it, but we do know we have the doctor here, so let's factor that in. And the doctor now has a plan.
Plan. We spray the cave with holy water.
Well, there might be more layers to his plan, but yeah, he did admit this one right up front. So, what do you think of the chapter?
Of the chapter or of the plan?
Uh, both, especially if they have a different answer.
I mean, it's a very different as well because the chapter was really nice
Okay.
and we learned a lot more things. But the plan is stupid.
Okay.
I mean, for all we know, you might think that, oh yeah, holy water, they are just gonna drown and do anything and decay and disappear. No. I mean, you are assuming that it is a stellar dark power. But well, what if it changed the power source as well?
Hmm.
For all we know, it can be using holy uh, magic to keep itself together.
Well, if that's true, that would definitely affect the results.
And then we will learn that the temple is actually a Big Mac, and you will just need to empower it. Also, yeah, you mentioned that drowning is not really a good solution because Cameron and others are still there. You don't even know where. There somewhere.
Well, there's
You
also the rest. The rest of the Naga, good and the bad sect. They probably can't. Well, we don't know. What if they can breathe underwater? Some snakes can.
can they? No, they can't.
Well, there's some underwater snakes, or those that are amphibious.
They said to come out for water. For air.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure that the ones that are fully underwater, they are not called snakes anymore. But we are
Well,
talking about
these
nuggets, and nuggets are sometimes described as sea creatures as well. So
okay.
I don't know which kind of nuggets these are.
Well, we might find out more about them later, but as it stands, we already met a few in one other chapter earlier.
Yeah. And the Griffin!
They seem to be breathing in that air just fine.
What if they are not? What if they don't even need air? They are just playing it.
Plot twist.
I mean, that would be the ultimate thought if you wanted to Middle Ages and actually you didn't need air or didn't need your heart to stay alive.
It'd be interesting if they weren't aware of that either.
Yeah? They stab you to the chest. Ah, he's dead. No, wait. How is he still alive? I mean, that kind of would be the same with Doctor. Because he has two hearts and can survive with one heart. We know that.
He even kind of mentioned that in this chapter. I'd bet either of my two hearts is something he said earlier.
Yeah? And the only reason the nerds are not surprised because they know who he is. I'm so curious how Talon and I didn't even jump on that. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm gonna go and probably rest a little bit. And tonight later on, we will have some justice and the
Sure
hunters
will.
of it.
Thank you for the reading.
Thank you for being here. And see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.